William, lead generation is probably one of our biggest challenges and what everyone's trying to improve on and increase the number of people that we attract into our businesses and that we can market to and hopefully increase revenue and income. So we've been using in our business Infusionsoft for a little bit more than 12 months and we've used lead pages and we've used a range of various different lead capturing tools and so forth. And the one that we're presenting today, I'm going to do a live one. I'm actually going to try and install it live into Facebook so you can see how quick and easy it is to use. It's called Firebox, and it so happens that we came across it somewhere via Zapier or one of those kind of apps. One day, you sign up for one thing and you get 100 different emails coming through. And one day, I was reading up and with everything, constantly changing in the way of capturing leads from your clients. We looked up in surveys and polls and quizzes and those kind of things becoming very popular, and people like engagement, and particularly if you're using Facebook. People want to stay on Facebook. You don't want to have to click on the whatever you're in Facebook and then have to come out again and go on another page. It just people don't like that, and it takes them away, and then they feel like they're being sold to, or they get distracted and so forth. So Firebox, the whole premise behind Firebox is that the quiz plays within Facebook, so you don't have to leave your Facebook app. If you're logged in on your desktop or on your mobile phone, the app just plays straight in Facebook, so you're not even leaving there. And the beauty about it, after a lot of troubles with the system, and I've had to send numerous support tickets back to Firebox, we eventually got it working where the leads were coming straight into our campaigns in Infusionsoft. So we set up our quiz, and the quizzes work with what's it called now? Logic sequence. So depending on the answer that the person gives, they will then get down to a particular result that you lead them to. So that was a challenge as well. We had to use up 3 different zaps to try and get that working and so forth. But eventually we got it going, and it goes into Infusionsoft via 3 entry points because of the 3 results. And you build your campaign thereafter, whatever else you want to send them and so forth. So give me a quick second. I'm going to try and get onto Firebox. We've got Facebook up and we've got Infusionsoft up. So I'm just going to get in there, and all my passwords are usually stored on my computer. So hopefully, hopefully I can.
Well done, guys. There's more water if you're getting thirsty.
So I'm just going to have a quick crack at this.
Just while you're doing that, can I, on the subject of plugins, what does everyone use for different things? Because I keep hearing about the Zapier and Parsley, not Parsley, yeah. Can anyone help?
It depends what you're trying to do. There are a lot of plugins, a lot of solutions and options. It's a case of picking the one that works best for your particular situation.
So if we have candidates sending CVs into us, can we skim that information and make it go straight into Infusionsoft? So we don't need to then...
Can I add something?
Yeah, go for it.
So what I say to our customers is there are 2 places to go look. The first is Zapier. Zapier, zapier.com.
Yeah.
And a lesser version similar to Zapier is OneSaaS, onesaas.com. Those are online cloud apps that are in the business of connecting software. So if you had Xero or Google Mail and you wanted to connect it to Infusionsoft, that's where you look. Yeah? The second piece of that puzzle is there are a bunch of custom built stuff by the Infusionsoft community that you can buy. For example, you can buy a little thing that lets people upload a file to their contact record. And you're going to find that when you're logged into Infusionsoft. If you go up the top to the question mark, there's a little thing that says Marketplace and Apps. So if you have a small problem like I want to upload a file, that's where you look. If you want to integrate big platforms, go to Zapier and see what's available. Because Zapier will tell you what will talk to Infusionsoft, and then you can kind of pick an app based on what will already talk.
So what Zapier is about is, to give you like an everyday example, you might have a senior director in the UK of your business, and every time you get an email from that director, you don't want it to come into your inbox, you want an SMS sent to you. So it's two completely different systems. Zapier just does the little if-then-else little connection to get one to action the next. So it's things that don't normally talk to each other, it helps talk. So it's not an Infusionsoft specific thing, it's a talk apps generally.
Integrating.
So for example, when someone buys something in Infusionsoft, create a draft invoice in Xero. Or when someone fills in a form in Infusionsoft, create a new row in a Google spreadsheet. That's a Zapier connection. But if you've got a little problem that you need to solve, then go to the Infusionsoft marketplace and look at what's already been built. There are all kinds of things that have been built.
Other one too is, there's another one too called Pipe Through. PIPTHRU, which is another Zapier type cloud integrator. So can't find Zapier, have a look at Pipe Through.
All right. So yes, we've got it working, and Firebox is spelled FY, as you can see up in the address bar, FYRE box.com. Now they've got, first of all, they've got free packages, so you can join up on the free package. We've got a paid version, which goes from I think $25 a month to $50, and those are the packages there. So there's what you can sort of get. So you get the player profiles, displays a sign in the form, and you can ask them certain questions, name and so on. You can't export any data, so it's worthless getting the free one, because then you can't go into Infusionsoft, because the exporting data goes into Infusionsoft. So the next level up there is $25 a month, and basically reduced branding, no statistics, or $50 per month, and you get the full deal. So that's what Firebox is, and I thought the best way to show you how it works is to actually do a live one and just install the game straight into Facebook. So we've been running just one simple quiz recently, and that's just a financial confidence quiz. We've got a couple of plays there and a couple of profiles that we edit every now and then to keep it fresh. So ultimately, let's go in there, and it's straightforward and simple. It's just content, look, feel, and you build it as you go along. You can change with the paid versions. You can change the background images of the quiz, and customize it to whatever suits you, and so forth. Simple stuff. Before players start, do you want to ask them certain information, so yes or no? What are any specific instructions that you may have? Those are sort of the questions that you have, and there's where you have the logic sequencing. So you say, well, if they answer yes, go to this question. If they answer no, and move on. And it works quite nice, because that way you can then sort of lead them down a specific pathway. So our first one is basically, are you confident in your financial position? Yes or no. It leads into the second question, even if it's a yes or a no. And then, do you currently have, a financial plan? Yes or no, and so on. So simple stuff like that, and then that's how you can then create various different, and the E is for ending, and there's Q's for question. So it goes, well, move to the next question. If they hit question 5, and any of those outcomes there, send them to one of the endings. So, really easy to build, straightforward. If you didn't want to use the logic, you could just have question, and so forth. And one of the reasons that we went down this way was because, you do surveys, and the most popular one that comes up is SurveyMonkey, and it's horrible. Everybody uses SurveyMonkey, and it doesn't give you that engagement. You're looking for engagement from your potential customers, your potential clients, and so forth, and they're looking for something different. Everyone knows SurveyMonkey, and they're, that's boring. This guy's just doing the same thing everyone else is doing. So what's different? And this, like I said, we'll show you how it goes, and it plays straight into Facebook. Works quite well. So we got all our questions. Then you have your different, outcomes at the end. Now, our 3 outcomes was, take the next step, improve your finances, and we can help, something like that. But this is where we had 3 different outcomes, and that's how it came into our Infusionsoft. So if yes, I had a financial plan and I'm on track, and I don't need any of your help. Well, hey, you know what? Take the next step, and you're on your way. And it took them to a landing page that gave them the answer. So ultimately, when you come to the ending, you could give the answer away, or you could ask them to opt in. And ours is obviously, well, opt in to get your answer. And on the opt-in as well, we were giving them away free template and tool. There's a video of me talking about how this template works and what the benefits are in it for them and so forth. Okay, so notifications as well. So you get a notification as soon as someone sends in, or completes the quiz, and it pops up on my phone because my email comes in. Hey, John Smith took the quiz. So, that way you can see all of his answers, and you can reply to them as well. Like, maybe specific, they may have a specific question or something like that. You can, I think it's because it paused. You can reply, and that again is there for speed and engagement and so on. Because how quick is it? If someone does the quiz and in there you identify something that's important to them, you may be able to have a template email that you can just shoot off straight to them, or if it's plugging into Infusionsoft, whatever outcome or ending they hit, then away it goes. And that's pretty much it. So if we go, and you can customize your look and feel. Yes, it's going. So you can then change your banner, your text, your backgrounds, your images. That's sort of the image, one of the images that we've got on ours. So straightforward, customized. Put in your own background if your background has text already on it, so you don't need to use any of their text. You can do so.
So this is all happening. This will all happen within the Facebook window. Or
the quiz, you build everything inside this Firebox app, and then you take the shortcodes or you share it into Facebook. That's correct.
Or email or whatever.
Correct, and that's just how one of the questions will look up. So you can see what your question will look. There's your answers on completion. Yes, it is mobile enabled. It's kind of funny on the mobile. You've got to play with it a few times before it eventually resizes, which is a bit of a pain. And but the good thing is they are very responsive on their support. They will get back to you very quickly, and they'll take on the comments and that. Like, we had a complete mock-up. It was not going into Infusionsoft. It just would not send the leads into Infusionsoft. So we got onto him, and he rebuilt it, and then he had a beta, and we were running that for about 3 or 4 days until he got this one fixed, and then he fixed it up, and then away we went. So again, he gave us the whole instructions on how to get the beta working, making sure that So heads up to them. I think the guy's name is Cyril. Great support from them. So a bit of a job. John knows we went through it a bit. That's sort of what your results page will look like. So you could give away the ending, or the result if you wanted to, and you can ask them for the information up front, or you wouldn't go past this page because ultimately you want the information. So you'd either ask up front or at the end. So that's sort of how ours looks. Your name and email, and get my results. So when they hit get results, that then took them to the landing page depending on what outcome they had out of 1, 2, or 3.
What dropouts do you get?
Well, look, again, that's something that I've been speaking to the guys here at Firebox from. Their stats don't seem to be very accurate, because we were testing it with our Facebook campaign, because obviously we're running it through Facebook, and the number of hits we're getting through Facebook, they weren't recording half of them. We said, what's happening? So. And then you pick up what you're getting through Infusionsoft as well. So, so there's what it's saying: 22 players, 6 completions, 6 successful, and then 0 unsuccessful. But somehow that one's not working because we've tried it. We tested it ourselves. We done 1, 2 questions, and we closed it, and it didn't show up as a non-completion. So, again, this is probably something that they've been working on for a little bit. I've been chasing them for it, and I think that it's a big issue because you want to know that. Again, I'm assuming because we have the first level, the $25. The second level may give you some more in-depth information, so I'm not sure if that's maybe partly the reason. But we found it for what it was doing, we weren't willing to spend on that. It's just it's throwing away money with all the apps that you're gonna eventually have. Money's just trickling out of your pocket, more than it's coming in. So you've got to put a limit down on what you want to spend on all these different apps.
How many games have you done so far?
So we've only ran 2 so far. And they've been reasonably successful. We've picked up a fair few leads coming through. It all depends on how you promote it. So yeah, you can put it on Facebook, but if you're not marketing your Facebook page or marketing the post or advertising the post, well then no one's going to see it anyway. So yep, so we've had to do that, advertise our post and boost it and all those kind of things to get the results. And hence why I say it all adds up. You know, you spend $25 and then come Facebook with your ads, and we're spending a few $100s at a time on various different posts. You've got to watch the money. You know,
do you put it on your website as well?
You certainly can put it on the website. Yeah, we've got it in our website, and we'll probably go there before we go to.
And you're storing the data that you're collecting, and there's some great segmentation. Do you tag them, or how do you use them?
Well, it comes into Infusionsoft. So all those that complete come into Infusionsoft. So you
first for every question.
No. It will be senseless to.
How do you manage the data?
Depending on what information you want. So we only wanted what their end outcome was, and there was another field that we wanted. So we only wanted the two fields to come into Infusionsoft. So those two come through. The rest of the data, well, you get an email with all of that information.
Tags, right? Because they're only choosing options.
You're able to tag, which is
Yeah.
you're able to tag each time a record comes in.
Yeah.
So you can you can fire off campaigns.
Well, like I said, what happens is there's 3 outcomes, right? So each one will come into Infusionsoft depending on the outcome. If it's outcome 1, they'll enter Infusionsoft on outcome 1. So you already know that person had outcome 1. So again, depending on what you want to do with your tags, you can do whatever you like. You know, outcome 2, he'll come in under outcome 2, so you'll know he's
and each
result was
outcome has its own tag.
Yeah, correct. And
Mohamed, the other really cool thing to do with a quiz like this that I've seen work really well is if you've got a stale list of people with no segmentation, it's a really good thing to throw
Yes.
back through to segment.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah. And then that's how it works. So what you then do is share on social media. You just click there, and while that's there,
Does that
share
share
on your
the
blog.
results? So it says
They
like-
won't get the results on Facebook because at the end of my quiz, it asked you to put your name and email and get my results. Now that's going to because it's got to go into Infusionsoft. We had to have that talking to Infusionsoft to capture them. So you had to
it's not like
have
you
a
can
trigger.
say, I got financial warlord and I can share it.
No, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. You can't do that. You can't do that because that again improves posts and likes or whatever the case is, and exposure.
I wonder if you could do the opt-in, and then when they share, if you can edit the text that they see when they share, that whether they opted in or not, they actually see the results. Because by the time they've decided not to opt in, well, who cares if you give the results otherwise? If you give them something cool to share, they're more likely to share it.
Yeah. Well, look, that could be done.
Right, show us that.
Right.
That's how it works.
Okay, so is this on the right timeline? Say something about this on your own timeline. On page manage. Right. There we go. So, simple.
Can
that be automated? Can you make it a regular post every fortnight or something like that?
Well, you've got to create the campaign, the quiz.
Yeah, well, if you create the quiz, then you say, can I repost it every 2 weeks?
Yeah, well, that's going to be a Zapier. A Zapier. You've got to tell Zapier, hey, repost this quiz over and over. So it's got nothing to do with this. Okay, so there you go. That's it.
Can you change that?
You certainly can. You can, because I know we've changed it on ours. We've got our stuff down there, and you can obviously say some stuff there. But for this exercise, I'm just going to throw it through. But you can. Ideally, I think you would probably want to either use it as a post or do it as a post instead. It gives you more content to write, and so on, and you can then advertise it a lot better as opposed to just doing it this way. But for now, we'll just share it. Okay, and there's our Facebook page. We'll just reload it. Okay. Trust the system, right?
Refresh.
Let's refresh.
Refresh fixes everything.
No, not this time. We did it right. Yeah, it was.
Don't you hate that?
Man.
It absolutely destroys your credibility.
It does.
Very well.
Alright, let's go. So we'll try one more and see. It'll probably come up twice with 2 errors.
When you share, did you have to say who you're sharing it with? Did you have that?
I said
You
friends.
said friends.
Yeah. So
Is there one that you've just run recently that you can show us?
Yeah.
it's gonna. We haven't ran this one in the last couple of weeks. We've got plenty of posts that we run. So.
What about the one website?
Yes. Yeah. Let's look at the website, and we'll see it working. There we go. No, that's Facebook. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. And that's in responsive mode. Let's get to the. I want to get the other one. John looks a lot better. I think it's on the contact page. Yep, this might be better. There we go. Okay, so there's a quiz there. And this is now on our website. Within Facebook, it's just going to play in Facebook, within that news feed or whatever the case is. So there's it in the website now. The screens are a little bit out, so that's why. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think you did. It's responsive.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. There we go. Pop up on your website of the quiz, and then so you basically just take the pop up the short codes, the WordPress short codes, or if you want to use the embed codes and so forth. Take that, get your web designer to pop it in for you, and there you go. So.
And it automatically asks you for your Infusionsoft account.
Can you just click yes?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
all the way
what-
through.
See what results you get.
Okay.
Let them read it so I can see what you
All right. Sorry. So you want to go?
Yeah.
Right. So let's just put in. I use my dummy, Zulu. Okay.
So you don't offer a free PDF or a free checklist? It's going to come out.
It should come up now.
Okay.
So there you go. So this one was improve your results or improve your plan. Da-da-da. And then there we go. Here's where we're giving them. Now take your life to the next level. Download our free template.
But you've had to give your email address.
You've had to. Well, we're not going to get anything working if we don't get their email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And the quiz doesn't allow us to offer anything. So
Oh,
you've got to
because
make
you have
allowances.
to
Yeah.
Say get a free.
Correct.
Get a free
Yeah.
sign up.
It- I sup-
But you mentioned about, give them both. If they,
Correct. So, well, look, yeah, I'd probably find it a little bit hard. Where you're gonna
You've got to
give
get
that
the
in the
detail.
quiz? You're gonna get that in
unless
the
you
quiz
have something
somehow.
at the end to have another go at it,
Yeah.
of trying to get them to opt in.
So
So
if
you
the
provide
second
the
last
content
page-
first to convince.
Because the last page, the opt-in, I'm assuming is another question of sorts in the quiz.
So after the last question, whatever your result, it doesn't matter. It will ask you to provide your name and email.
Yep.
So you could replace that and say, well, get a free something, click here, and that takes you to another page. Because all we did was just redirect them now to this landing page.
So what I was going to suggest is you could have the opt-in with a very obvious button call to action.
Yes.
And then the classic would be thing that says, no thanks, take me to blah.
Right. Yeah.
So they can keep going if they're not ready to give you their email address yet. Because then maybe on the thank you page, you've wowed them, they go, actually I do.
Yeah.
Or what I would be doing on that, if you're using Appointment Core, is saying, hey, you really need to speak to one of our awesome financial advisors, book a call right now.
Yeah.
Because no one's ever more confident when they've just given you their filled in the form. But anyway, you go down the
All right.
rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is huge.
Look, there's various
If you
tweaks.
get email, you don't want to be doing business with them anyway.
Of course not.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, and it's qualifying the lead as well. It's qualifying the lead. If, they're not willing to give the email, well, hey, we're not, we're interested in people that are, willing and so on. So that's, they get the landing page, they can watch the video, that's me speaking, they can download then. So they've got their result up front, and it's simple. We're just, your quiz will improve your plan. You've already taken steps towards your goal, but there's some issues you should address. Meet with the financial advisor today. So that's their result. And take your life to the next level. Download our template. There's all what you can get. Watch the video, and then I explain how to use the template. Because they can click download, but well, how do I use this template? What do I do? So it's a lengthy video, but it's an instruction video as well. So again, I suppose if people are not willing to watch the video and so on, hey, they're not clients that you want anyway. So, and that's how that quiz works for us. Now it's a pity it's not working in.
So is the whole quiz like a gap analysis?
You can set it however you want. I mean, the questions you can put in your own question. So, well, we want to find out exactly, because we get the answer, so we want to know. So one of the questions in the quiz was, what's important to you? So we want to know if they have a family, they've got a mortgage, are they planning retirement, or they need just general assistance with, budgeting and so on. So that question comes up for everyone. Within, depending on the logic, that question will come up. So that's what we want to know. We want that information, and then, the rest of it will come through towards the end. So you can, like I said, the logic is there. You can play with it. We started, you have to map it out, the whole logic. So we had a huge butcher paper that we started to work on. Eventually got too small because it was, the various questions are depending on the answers. So, and it's taken it. So you can modify them as much as you like.
Does it have any scoring ability?
It doesn't have a scoring ability, no.
Yeah.
No scoring ability.
I had to do that manually with tags.
Hold on one second. Let me just double check actually, because we've just used the logic. Mostly A, open-ended, yes or no, scenario, word search, hangman. What's?
Oh, I like hangman.
Hangman.
Yeah, so these are basically the various types of quizzes that you can create as well. Yeah.
I underscored four variables.
So what's MCQ?
There's one it was called Question Mine, but they merged, now it's called Dialogger, D-I-L-O-G-R. You can find it in the marketplace.
Dialogger, yeah.
And what's really cool about that is you can tag particular answers in particular questions. You can tag particular sets of answers by score. You can point score.
I've done all that in Infusionsoft without using anything.
But
except the PHP code to do an HTTP post to do the actual range of scores, because we had 3 to 5. It was a score of 3, and someone else had a 5 and whatever else. Same scores, then they had to.
The reason that you would use this plugin is that based on what people answer on particular questions, it will generate a PDF report that's emailed to them with different paragraphs based on the answer.
I didn't click this.
That's exactly what we did. That's exactly what we did.
So I think
what was that called?
Dialogger.
Right.
I think. I'll tell you what, I've got an email that built manually.
How did you end up integrating it to Infusion? Are you still using Zapier?
Yes, so you have to use Zapier to integrate it into Infusionsoft, and if anyone's used Zapier, it's straightforward.
Yep.
You select your trigger app, and then the app that you want it to go, and then you just filter down and answer the questions. Zapier is fantastic, straightforward. We use it for a fair bit of these things.
So that last form in the quiz is feeding the name and email address into a campaign form, is it?
That's correct. Yes. So what happens is the last 2 questions on the where you provide your name and email.
Yep.
Yes, that feeds into Zapier, through Zapier into Infusionsoft.
Sure.
Correct.
Into web,
The web form on
Well, you've got to create a web form.
Yeah.
Yes. For Infusionsoft for it to pull in that data.
similar to how it goes into lead pages.
The same thing with
Zapier.
Yeah. Correct. So. That's pretty much it. I think we're wrapped for time. I mean, you could go to the Infusionsoft. Yeah.
So how did you come across Firefox?
Like I said, I signed up for probably something, And I got an email one day saying, hey, you know, Zapier, Firebox, we do quizzes and stuff. So I jumped on and just had a look at it. And that's how I found out.
You're right though, once you're on those lists. Project Management Pulse, which is a project management tool but for visual, so it's not sort of ugly, it's really visual and cool, so IT groups use it. But you just once you're on those lists, you just hear about all that stuff, so you get on beta testing lists.
Yeah. Look, some of it I suppose is good because then you'll land up with something like this, and sometimes you just end up with crap, and then when I sell you a lot of stuff. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.